Asab Port is now a symbol of the Red Sea's return as a global arena for competition. The potential Saudi-Eritrean partnership highlights the collision of economic ambition, military strategy, and national sovereignty. Eritrea faces a historic choice: embrace development and risk entanglement, or guard its independence and remain isolated. Saudi Arabia's move is bold, but it's being watched and countered by regional and global rivals. The development of Asab will trigger new alignments and intensify the contest for influence from the Suez to the Indian Ocean. The port's future is uncertain, but its importance is undeniable. Geography still matters, and even small nations can hold assets of immense strategic value. The world is watching Eritrea's coast, waiting to see if Asab becomes a beacon of prosperity or another pawn in the great game. For decades, the Eritrean port of Asab was a quiet relic on the Red Sea, overshadowed by its neighbors and largely ignored by global commerce. In early 2025, that changed overnight. Saudi Arabia's reported interest in a multi-billion-dollar investment has thrust Asab into the global spotlight. Suddenly, this dormant port is at the heart of a geopolitical puzzle, raising questions about trade, security, and power in a critical maritime region. News of Saudi plans to modernize and expand Asab has triggered diplomatic activity from Washington to Beijing. Once a vital outlet for Ethiopia, Asab faded after Eritrea's independence and years of conflict, while Djibouti became the region's main gateway. Now, with Saudi investment on the table, Asab could challenge the established order and reshape the Red Sea's economic landscape. This is more than an infrastructure story. It's about a small nation navigating the ambitions of a regional giant. As Eritrea weighs its options, the world watches. Will Asab become a symbol of cooperation and prosperity, or a new flashpoint for rivalry? The stakes are high, not just for Eritrea and Saudi Arabia, but for every nation relying on the free flow of goods through these waters. To grasp Asab's appeal, just look at a map. The port sits near the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, a choke point connecting the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean via the Suez Canal. About 10% of global trade, including vital oil and gas shipments, passes through this narrow waterway each year. Control or influence over a port so close to this strait offers immense strategic leverage, monitoring traffic, projecting power, and securing commercial interests. Asab's potential was long overlooked, especially after Eritrea's independence cut off its main user, Ethiopia. While the UAE once used it as a military base, Asab's commercial infrastructure lagged far behind Djibouti's. For years it was a symbol of untapped potential, a geographic jackpot waiting for the right investor. Now Saudi Arabia sees Asab as a chance to establish a foothold at the crossroads of global commerce. For any nation with big ambitions, a port near Bab al-Mandeb is a non-negotiable asset. That's why Asab, once neglected, is now the focus of billion-dollar discussions and regional strategy. Saudi Arabia's interest in Asab is no accident. It's a key part of Vision 2030, the kingdom's plan to diversify its economy and become a global logistics powerhouse. To achieve this, Saudi Arabia needs control over major maritime trade routes, and Asab fits perfectly into this strategy. The reported plan invests billions to modernize the port, dredge channels, build container terminals, and create a logistics and industrial zone. The goal is to turn Asab into a high-efficiency hub, directly competing with regional ports and integrating it into Saudi Arabia's expanding network. But it's not just about economics. Saudi Arabia wants to counter rivals like Turkey, China, and the UAE, secure its supply chains, and project power across the Red Sea. A strong presence in Eritrea would let Riyadh monitor regional developments and protect its interests. The kingdom has already invested heavily in Djibouti, but Asab signals a desire to diversify and avoid over-reliance on one partner. A major deal here would be escalation in Saudi engagement, sending a clear message about its ambitions in the Red Sea basin. Vision 2030 is no longer just a domestic plan, it's a regional play for dominance. For Eritrea, Saudi investment in Asab is both an opportunity and a risk. The economic benefits are clear jobs, revenue, and a chance to break out of isolation. But there's a catch: potential erosion of sovereignty. Eritrea's leadership, shaped by a history of hard-won independence, is wary of foreign control over strategic assets. Handing over significant authority, even to a wealthy partner, would be a major policy shift. The government must balance immediate gains against long-term autonomy, likely seeking a joint venture or carefully structured deal. The decision rests with President Isaias Afwerki: embrace economic integration and its risks, or stick to self-reliance and forego a rare opportunity. This isn't just about a port, it's about Eritrea's identity and future direction. News of a possible Saudi-Eritrean deal has sent shockwaves through the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia, landlocked since 1993, has long eyed Assab as its logical route to the sea. A Saudi-backed Eritrean port complicates those ambitions. For Djibouti, Assab's revival is a direct threat. Djibouti has thrived as the region's logistics hub, but a modern Assab could divert trade and investment. The UAE, once the main Gulf investor and former operator of a military base at Assab, now faces a new competitor in Saudi Arabia. A Saudi move could be seen as both cooperation and rivalry among Gulf states. China in Djibouti and Turkey, expanding in Somalia, are also recalibrating their strategies. The Assab deal isn't just bilateral, it's a move on a global chessboard, forcing every major player to rethink their interests. The region is bracing for a new era of competition and shifting alliances. Despite the headlines, as of September 2025, no formal agreement on Assab has been signed. Both Eritrea and Saudi Arabia are managing expectations, with Eritrean officials denying any handover of the port. What's happening now is negotiation, not a done deal. Saudi Arabia is assessing feasibility and returns, while Eritrea weighs economic benefits against sovereignty risks. This is a delicate diplomatic dance, with both sides seeking the best terms. The very fact these talks are happening signals Assab's rising strategic value and has already shifted regional calculations. The vision of a bustling Saudi-backed Assab remains a blueprint for now. The outcome will depend on the details: control, investment, and the ability to navigate complex rivalries.